Hello students, I cordially welcome you all back to this session. Let's continue the rest part of your story titled The Voter Errant Today. Before having gone through with the main script of this story, it's time to recollect the things that were dealt with in our previous session. Students, the story began with the description of the main character of this story, Rufus Okeke, who was in short called Roof. He was a very popular young man of Umofia village. The villagers of that Umofia didn't explain the popularity of Roof using their words. Instead, Roof's popularity was taken into account or measured by the gratitude or feeling of thankfulness that the villagers of Umofia had ever shown at him. He was a very young and an energetic man of that village. He was unlike many of his friends. How was he different from his friends is that many of his companions left the village of Umofia in searching for a job in the towns and cities. But unlike them, he stuck on his firm decision to remain in his own village for the sake of his people, so that he never ever thought of leaving his village Umofia. He remained there only. He was aware of all the things which were happening all around him and his village as well. He was not a village lout either. Each inhabitant or resident of that Umofian village came to know how Rufus Okeke spent his 2 years of duration living all alone in Port Orchard to learn how to repair a bicycle. That's what we call apprentice. And he had given up everything, including his bright future, and made his way back to his Umofia village only for his people and only for guiding them in the difficult times that the villagers of Umofia ever confronted. And later we were made to know about the political party that existed in the village of Umofia. All the villagers or the entire village backed up a political party named called PAP, which means the expansion of the PAP is People's Alliance Party. And later we were made to know the leader of the PAP party that was who was appointed as a Minister of Culture in the outgoing government, that is Marcus Ibe. He was an illustrious or widely known son to all the people of that Umofia, and it was certain that in the upcoming election as well, Marcus Ibe would again be elected, and nobody doubted that Marcus Ibe, who was the honorable minister, would again be elected in his constituency. There was no doubt at all. Oppositional party to Marcus Ibe was like a proverbial saying, it is a very easy task to us to move a dunghill from one place to another place. In this, likewise, defeating an opposition party to Marcus Ibe, it is as the same as moving a dunghill from one place to another place. And it was expected that Rufus Okeke was in the service of Honorable Marcus Ibe for the coming elections. And when he got entered into the politics, when he indulged in the politics, he became a real expert in conducting many campaigns in all at all the levels. It may be a village level, while forming a local government, and national level as well. He gained so much of knowledge in conducting campaigns at all these levels. Even Rufus Okeke could tell the mood and temper of the electorate. Electorate, in a sense, it is a body of voters who could give their votes to elect their representatives only to administer them. Even Rufus Okeke could tell the mood and temper of the body of voters who could cast their vote to represent their to cast their vote to elect their representatives. At any given time he could tell the mood and temper of those people, and here we were given an instance to understand how he could tell the mood and temper of the people. Even Rufus Okeke a few months ago warned his minister of culture, that is Marcus Ebe, about the radical change, the fundamental changes that had come into thinking of the villagers of Umofia since the last national election. All the villagers of Umofia realized the fact that they had not got anything from the hand of Marcus Ibe, though they elected him 5 years ago free of cost. They were not given any privileges or facilities by Marcus Ibe. He gained so much from the politics but hadn't given them anything, so that they decided to cast their vote in a very different manner in the coming election. So that already few months ago Rufus Okeke warned his minister about the radical changes that were made in the minds of the people of that Umofia. This is how he could tell the mood and temper of the people of that Umofia. All the villagers had taken 5 years of time to see how the politics, after electing their Marcus Ibe as the Minister of Culture, how the politics had brought wealth, chieftaincy titles and doctorate degrees and other honors to their village. All the villagers had taken 5 years of time to see all these things, and after finding the fact that after realizing the fact that they were not given anything from this Marcus Ibe, they expected a doctor in the form of the minister, that is Marcus Ibe, to heal the sick, which means they were stricken with the poverty. Poverty, illiteracy, and many problems were there in the village of Umofia. They were like a diseased person. They expected a doctor in the form of this Marcus Ibe to heal their sick that all the villagers of Umofia were stricken with. And later, what did we get to see is that all the honors and benefits had gone, to the man to whom all the villagers of Umofia cast their vote in the previous election 5 years ago, free of cost. So that now they wanted to try it in a very different way in the coming election, as they got nothing from the hand of Marcus Ibe. And later, we the readers of this present story were made to know about the background of Marcus Ibe, to know what exactly he was before having been appointed as a minister of culture. All the villagers' point was that only the other day, which means only a few days ago, Marcus Ibe was not a successful mission school teacher. He was a school teacher few days ago, but he was not successful in his career. And later, the politics had come into existence in the village of Umofia. And later, what did we get to see is that Marcus Ibe, he had wisely joined up the politics, as he had seen the coming of politics in his own village to escape from the fate or destiny that awaited for him. Our Marcus Ibe, by using his tactics and shrewdness, a politician has had in him, he used his tactics to join the politics, and later he joined it up wisely, only to avoid the imminent dismissal arising from one of the female teachers' complaint. One of the female teachers had filed a complaint against Marcus Ibe. To escape from this situation, Marcus Ibe wisely joined up the politics. Today, he became one of the chief, the honorable, after being appointed as the Minister of Culture in the previous government. After being appointed as a Minister of Culture, he bought two long cars and owned them. And he had lately built up an enormous building on his own. It was a biggest house anyone had hardly seen in their locality. And none of the successes had gone to the Marcus's head indeed, but all that had gone to, all that had gone to, all the successes had must have gone to the head of the villagers as they cast their vote free of cost few years ago or 5 years ago. But Marcus Ibe pretended as if he was devoted to his people so that he left all the privileges that were available in the city and he started living his life in the village itself. And here, whenever it was possible to him, he left all the good things that were available in the city and he made his way towards the village to live his rest of his life all along with his people, which had neither running water nor an electricity. Later, he lately installed an electronic machine. That's what we call a private plant. It is an industrial machine only to supply electricity to his newly built house. He came to know the source of his good fortune, how to get it, and and here our author of this story made a comparison over here with a little bird with the actions of Marcus Ibe. He is all of his actions were not as the same as that of a bird which eats and which consumes grains and later goes on drinking water after satisfying or after quenching its hunger. It would go on challenging its own spirit. But our Marcus Ibe, he didn't do like that of a bird. He remained devoted to his people. He started living his life with his people. This is how the satirical statements had been made by by our Chinua Achebe over here. And later, what did we get to see is that Marcus Ibe named his newly built house as Umofia Mansions only to honor is the people of that Umofia. By adding the name of the village of that Umofia, he had put the name to his newly built house by adding Umofia all along with a mansion, only to honor his village. On the day when it was inaugurated, he had killed 5 bulls and countless of goats only to arrange or organize a banquet. In a simple words, in another words, we can say that only to entertain is the people of that Umofia, he had slaughtered or killed 5 bulls and enormous of goats only to entertain them, only to feed them. When it was when it happened is that it was taken place in the day when it was opened by the archbishop who was a clergy in the club in the church. This is the point where I stopped teaching you people in our previous session. Let's see what takes place in the coming paragraph. Everyone was full of praise for him. After taking food which was served to all the villagers of Umofia, everyone, each inhabitant who had gone to the banquet to feed themselves, they were in a happy mood, so that everyone who had gone to the banquet admired Marcus Ibe as they were given a delicious food at the banquet. One old man said, an old man who had gone to the banquet too have a food. He said like this, our son is a good man. Have a look at the way how an old man prized Marcus Ibe, our son. Now he says that our son Marcus Ibe was is a son. Marcus Ibe was his son. He says like this, our son is a good man. As the old man had so much of food as had a delicious food in the banquet, he was satisfied with what he was given. So that he says like this, our son was a very good man. He is not like that of a mortar which as soon as food comes, its way turns its back onto the ground. Students, here mortar, what do you people mean by mortar is that it looks like a gun. It doesn't not only look like a gun, itself is a gun in which we can uh, feed some bullets in it to fire to a distant places. That's what we call Pirangi in Kannada. He is not, which means Marcus Ibe is not like that of a mortar. He is not like that of a gun, which as soon as food comes, when a soldier uh, puts food in the form of a bullets, when he puts a bullet into the mortar to fire the bullets onto a particular direction to destroy his enemies in the battleground, its way, its back, its way turn its back onto the ground. All of a sudden, when he fires the bullet out of the mortar, its way turns its back onto the ground. It looks like how does it look like is that if anyone stands there behind it, there might be a destruction to the man who stands there all alone. In the similar way, our our Marcus Ibe is not like that of a mortar. He remained devoted to his people of that Umofia. He didn't make any harm to the people of that Umofia. He was in the favor of that Umofian people. This is what an old man said after feeding food which was served to him. But when the feasting was over, when all the when all the villagers all the villagers who had gone to the feasting, who had gone to the banquet after taking food which was served to them, when the banquet was over, what happened is that the villagers told themselves that they had underrated the power of the ballot paper before. Before, in a sense, 5 years ago, all the villagers, after feeding themselves food which was served to them in that banquet, they told themselves in a whispering voice among themselves. What had they told is that they had underrated the power of the ballot paper. The value of the ballot paper which they put in the ballot box at the time of the election, they had underrated. What do people mean by underrated is that the value of the ballot paper is more, the worth of the ballot paper is priceless. It which means in another words, in simple words, we can say that the value of or the power of the ballot paper is more. But 5 years ago, when they cast their vote for Marcus Ibe free of cost, they had underrated it, which means they had made it very low. The value of the ballot paper 5 years ago was made it low. All the villagers, so this is how they told themselves among all of them. 5 years ago, the value or the worth of the ballot paper was made it low by all the villagers of Mofia, and they told themselves that they shouldn't do so again. They decided not to do so again. They wanted to try it in a very different way. They wanted to take the money. This is how all the villagers made up their mind to take the bribe. This is how the corruption that took place by the people of that Umofia. Chief, the Honorable Marcus Ibe was not unprepared. The chief, the Honorable Marcus Ibe made all the arrangements for the coming election. All the arrangements were made by Marcus Ibe as he started going through the upcoming election, and as he wanted to stand in the coming election, all the arrangements were made by Marcus Ibe in the form of the preparations. All the preparations, in a sense, all the preparations were made by Marcus Ibe for the coming election. He had drawn 5 months of salary in advance as a preparation for the upcoming election. Marcus Ibe, to distribute the money among all the villagers of Umofia, he had taken or drawn 5 months of salary in advance, even without having noticed the coming election. Without having the coming election in advance, Marcus Ibe had taken his 5 months of salary in advance only to distribute the money among all the villagers of Umofia. He too wanted to distribute the money among all the villagers of Umofia only to attract the vote towards him, and changed a few hundred pounds into shining shillings. And what he did is that after taking or after drawing 5 months of his salary in advance, what he did is that he changed or converted few hundred pounds into shining shillings. Students, here shillings are the coins. Shillings are what we call a currency which was used in the countries of Africa as a currency. Here, Marcus Ibe converted those few hundred pounds into shining shillings which were used in the localities of Africa, especially in terms of this present story. Shillings were used in Umofian village, so that to make use of those pounds, he converted those pounds into shillings to distribute those shillings among all the villagers of Umofia only to attract or enchant the vote of the people of that Umofia, and armed his campaign boys. And what he did is that armed in a sense, equipped his campaign boys. He made his campaign boys who had started conducting campaign for the sake of Marcus Ibe. They were ready to go to make it a campaign, so that Marcus Ibe had given all of his campaign boys with the money that he converted into shillings. That's what we call armed. Armed in the sense, equipped. He had provided all the necessities, all the things which his campaign boys needed to distribute the money among all the villagers. That's what we call armed. He armed his campaign boys with eloquent little jute bags in a sense, Senabina Chila, what we call it in Kannada. Marcus Ibe provided all of his campaign boys jute bags, which he put to shillings in it, only to distribute the money among all the villagers, only to attract their votes, so that he had given jute bags onto the hands of his campaign boys to conduct campaign and to distribute the money. In the day he made his speeches. At the same time, whatever Marcus Ibe did is that he made his speeches addressing the gathering of people at a place. Number of people from Umofia gathered in a place. By addressing those people, our Marcus Ibe made his speeches only to only to attract their vote towards him. At night, his stalwarts conducted their whispering campaign. In the same day, when he made his speech on addressing the people who gathered at the place, on the same night, on that day itself, in the night time, what is stalwarts or followers? Stalwarts, in a sense, is a followers, is a campaign boys. What they did is that is a campaign boys. They conducted their whispering campaign. The intent of conducting whispering campaign is that not not anyone not let anyone to know about the campaign, especially about the distribution of the money to the people one who wanted to get it, so that in the night itself is a followers, Marcus Ibes followers, or is a many trust campaign boys, trustworthy campaign boys conducted or organized whispering campaigns. On that night itself, many of his boys made their way towards the place where many villagers of Mofia wanted to take the bribe from the hands of Marcus Ibes stalwarts. On that day itself, this is how the stalwarts or followers of Marcus Abe conducted their whispering campaigns, not letting anyone to know about giving the money onto the hands of the people of that Umofia. Ruf was the most trusted of these campaigners. Among all the campaigners of Marcus Abe, Rufus Wakeke was the one with whom our Marcus Ibe had so much trust of. He was the only one. He was the only one. Rufus Marcus Ibe had so much of belief in. So that here we are given a statement over here, that is Rufus Okeke was the most trusted among all the campaigners. This is what we see in this present context of this paragraph. Let's see what is said by Chinua Achebe here. We have a minister from our village, one of our own sons. He said to a group of elders in the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa on the day when Rufus Okeke made or conducted is a whispering campaign. He visited the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa. On that day itself, at the time of night, when he visited the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa, what happened is that we have a minister from our village, one of our own sons. What he said is that we have our own minister. The minister, in a sense, who is the minister over here? That is Marcus Ibe. We have had our own minister who is in the favor of all the people of that Umofia. We have had our own minister from our own village. By putting our vote 5 years ago, we have made our Marcus Ibe as our cultural minister. He is in the favor of us. He would do anything for the sake of us only. He is in the side of us. We have had our own minister for the sake of us from our own village, one of our own sons. Our Marcus Ibe is one of our own sons. He is not the other person. Instead, he is our own sons. He said to a group of elders in the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa. In the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa, there were 5 elders sitting next to each other to receive the shillings from the hands of our Rufus Okeke. All of them gathered in the house of Ogbufi Ezenwa. On that day itself, when this whispering campaign was conducted by Rufus Okeke, he said to this group of elders who were 5 in number, especially in the house of this Ogbufi Ezenwa, a man of high traditional title. Here, Ogbufi Ezenwa was a man who followed the traditional life of Igbo people, the traditional life of the community of the tribe people of the Igbo. What a greater honor can a village have? And he further asked the people who gathered there in the house of Agbufi Ezenwa is that what a greater honor can a village have? Can a village have a greater honor than this one? We have a minister from our own village. It's a greater honor for all of us. Being a residents of this village of Umofia, we have a greater honor after having seen a minister from our own village. Can any village get a greater honor than this? Definitely not. Do you ever stop to ask yourself why should be singled out for this honor? And he asked all those five elders and another question that is, do you ever stop to ask yourself, have you ever stopped asking yourself a question, why should you be opted or what we call chosen for this honor? You people are made to sit in this Ogbufi Ezenwa's house, and you have had your own minister of culture. He is in the favor of you. Do people ever stop to ask yourself a question? Why should you people be chosen to be sitting inside this house of Ogbufi Ezenwa to receive the coin or shillings out of my hand? Have people ever stopped asking yourself this question? I will tell you. I will tell you an answer. He goes on telling all those five elders an answer over here by saying that I will tell you. It's because we are favored by the leaders of POP. I will tell you an answer. It is because why? Because is that why we are chosen by the leaders of PAP is that all of them were in the favor of us. They were in the side of us. They would do anything for us only. It is how Rufus Wakeke was also in the favor of Marcus Ibe. He knew the fact that Marcus Ibe had got anything out of the politics, but he hadn't done anything to the people of that Umofia, which had neither running water nor electricity. But this is how he committed the bribe over here. That is how he involved in making it a corruption. It is because we are favored and we are helped by the leaders of the PAP. Whether or not we cost our paper for Marcos, PAP will continue to rule. And he further insists in the mind of the people of that Umofia by saying that whether or not you cost your paper for Marcus Ibe in the coming election, it doesn't matter. It may be, your vote may be for Marcus Ibe or not. It doesn't matter. In the coming election as well, PAP will continue to rule us. PAP party will continue to administer us. No one ever stop ruling of PAP. It will ever continue to rule us. Think of the pipe-borne water they have promised us. Only a few days ago, all the leaders of PAP have promised us to provide us with a pipe-borne water. Our village has had no running water. But the leaders of PAP, if you people give your vote for Marcus Ibe, they would certainly provide you or your entire village with a pipe-borne water. You remember it. You decide yourself whether you cast your vote for Maduka or whether you cast your vote for Marcus Ibe or not. This is what we have seen over here. And coming on to our next paragraph, what do we see is that besides Roof and his assistant, there were 5 elders in the room. Not only Roof was inside, besides Roof, his assistant was inside the room. Along with Roof and his assistant, there were 5 elders sitting inside the room of Agbufi Ezenwa, as they were involved in the whispering campaign to receive the money from the hand of Rufus Okeke, which was given by Marcus Ibe. An old hurricane lamp was put amidst them with a cracked. An old hurricane lamp. Hurricane lamp, in a sense, it is an oil lamp. Oil lamp, an old oil lamp was put amidst them with a cracked. Cracked in a sense, that's what we call cracks. Cracks appeared all around that oil lamp. It was too old. The structure, the physical structure of that old hurricane lamp is like this. It was old one. It was an oil lamp with a cracked. Everywhere, all around it, cracks appeared. Sooty in a sense. It was uncleaned. Everywhere around, all around it, it was uncleaned. Dust particles were everywhere all around it. Glass chimney gave out yellowish light in their midst. In the midst of the chimney, yellowish light was burning. A glass was put all around the light. That was, it looks like a chimney. You people might have seen the chimney, which is on the hub of the factories. And here, in the similar manner, on that old hurricane lamp, there was a glass put in the form of a chimney, which had provided or given out a yellowish light in their midst. In the midst of that old hurricane lamp, yellowish light was being produced. The elders sat on very low stools. All the elders, who were 5 in number, sat down on the low stools on the floor. On the floor, directly in front of each of them, lay 2 shilling pieces on the floor, on the ground. What our Rufus Okeke did is that only to attract the votes of the people of that Umofia, directly in front of each of them. Rufus Okeke, in front of each of the elders, he laid 2 shilling pieces before all of them, only to attract their votes. This is how he had distributed the shillings to the villagers of that Umofia. He laid 2 shillings before each of the 5 elders who were inside the house of Agbufi Ezenwa. Outside, beyond the fastened door, the moon kept a straight face. Outside the beyond fastened door in a sense, closed door. It was, I told you people earlier, the fact that it was a whispering campaign. How do whispering campaign conduct? Is it is conducted not letting anyone to know what is happening inside it. In the similar way, all the elders were inside the house of Agbufi Ezenwa, all along with our Rufus Okeke and one of his assistant. So that all of them were inside with a fastened door. Outside that fastened door, outside of the door, closed door, the moon in the sky kept his face straight. to see what was happening inside the house of this Agbufi Ezenwa. No villagers could see what was happening inside this house, but the moon kept his face straight to see what was happening inside the house of this Agbufi Ezenwa. We believe every word you say to be true, said Ezenwa. Among all those villagers, one of them was Ezenwa. He said that we all believe every word of you say to be true. He said that we all the people believe that each word that you produced so far before all of us to be true. We had trust in your words. Ezenma said like this: we shall, every one of us, drop his paper for Marcus Ibe after having seen the 2 shillings before them. Ezenma goes on saying like this: we shall, every one of us, not only me, every one of us, including all the 5 elders who sat inside the house of Agbufi Ezenma, each one of us drop or put our ballot paper for Marcus Ibe only. Even in the coming election, we cast our vote for Marcus Ibe 5 years ago free of cost. But here, in the coming election too, we cast our or drop our ballot paper for Marcus Ibe, who would live and also feast and go to a poor ritual meal. After having witnessed 2 shilling coins before each of 5 elders, what Ezenwa said is that who would live and Wozo Feast. Wozo Feast is a religious festival celebrated by the Igbo people, which means here it was a religious feast which could be celebrated grand on that occasion, on that merry occasion. The Igbo people would prepare many delicious foods, so that he says after having seen those shillings before them, he said, who would live and was a feast. In the previous government, we had received no money from the hand of Marcus Ibe, but in the coming election, we wanted to get shillings from the hand of Marcus Ibe. So that he says he compared receiving the shillings for the coming election by the hand of this Marcus Ibe, by the hand of this Rufus Okeke, like this, by comparing to a was feast, receiving shillings by the hand of Marcus Ibe is like celebrating an Ozo feast. Who would live an Ozo feast? Among all of us, no one is here to live out behind us and was a feast. It is as the same as receiving money from the hand of Rufus Okeke and go to a poor ritual meal. They had a sufficient poor ritual meal so far after having received no money in the outgoing government. We had received no money from Marcus Ibe earlier 5 years ago. We would go to a poor ritual meal. Every day we consumed the same food. That is a poor ritual meal. We tasted bitter. So that we would go to poor ritual meal. No one would go to poor ritual meal to feed themselves. Tell Marcus, you go and tell your Marcus Ibe, he has our papers. We would cast our paper or ballot paper for Marcus Ibe even in the coming election as well, and our wives' papers too. Not only we put our ballot papers for Marcus Ibe, our wives too cast their votes for Marcus Ibe as well. But what we do say is that 2 shillings is shameful. After having witnessed laying of the 2 shillings before them, Marcus Ezenwa said like this, that what do we say is that it becomes very essential for us to say like this, that is what we are trying to tell you is that having 2 shillings for our vote is too shameful act. Receiving only 2 shillings is a shameful act. He brought the lamp close and tilted it at the money before him as if to make sure he hadn't mistaken its value. After having listening, after having listened the words of Agbufi Ezenwa, Rufus Okeke had brought the lamp closer to the money where he laid it off on the ground. He brought it closer. He brought the lamp closer to the money or the shilling where he laid it on the floor, and he tilted, or what we call, he slanted it. What we call it in Kannada is that ಬಾಗ್ಸೋದು. ಆ ಹಣದ ಹತ್ರ ಆ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಪನ್ನು, ಹರಿಕೇನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪನ್ನು ಬಾಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. he slanted the old hurricane lamp before the money that he had put on the floor, only to make sure of himself he hadn't mistaken its value. He slanted it at the money which was on the floor as if to make sure himself he had not mistaken its value, only to realize himself that he had not mistaken the value of the 2 shillings. Yes, 2 shillings is too shameful. He confirmed himself that he assumed himself that giving only 2 shillings for each person is a shameful act. He also admitted with the words of Agbufi Ezenwa, providing only 2 shillings is a shameful act. If Marcus were a poor man, which our ancestors forbade earlier, he says that one of the man among all the villagers says that if Marcus were a poor man, if Marcus Ibe were a poor man, which our ancestors forbade, our ancestors prohibited him earlier. If he was poor enough, having no money at all, having no property at all, having no property, wealth, chieftaincy titles, honors, if he had been left with no money in his hand, I should be the first one to give him my paper for free, as I did before. And he tells everyone that I should be the first one to provide my ballot paper for Marcus Ibe if he was hit with a poverty, if he was a poor man, if he was not in a position to deal with the things, I should be the first man to cost my paper free of cost, even in the coming election as well, as I did earlier, as I did 5 years ago. But today Marcus is a great man and does his things like a great man, and today every one of them realizes the fact that Marcus Ibe is a great man. He can do everything. After having built an enormous house anyone had hardly seen around his locality, and after having bought 2 enormous cars on his own, he had everything on his own. And what do we see is that Marcus is a very great man. He is a wealthy man. He can do everything and does his things like a great man. Whatever he does, whatever he has done, whatever the work that may be done by Marcus Ibe is done with a great passion. He does this like a great man. We didn't ask him for the money yesterday. Yesterday represents 5 years ago when the election took place in our village of Umofia. We, the people, didn't ask for the money yesterday. We cast our vote for Marcus Ibe free of cost and elected him as our representative, as our Minister of Culture 5 years ago. We shall not ask him for tomorrow. We will not. We will not ask the money for tomorrow. Ask him tomorrow. We will not ask the money tomorrow. But today is our day. It is the only day left for us to ask for money. It is a best time to demand for the money. We have to be given the money from Marcus Ibe. We had been left with no money. We had been given no opportunity or privileges from Marcus Ibe. So they were affirmed that they should ask the money. So that today is our day, they said. We have climbed the Iroka tree today. And here what we see is that Iroko tree is a tree that is being grown on the western coastal area of that African lands. And here this Iroko tree is used by the people of that coastal area for the firewood that they need. These people, especially the tribal people, climbed the Iroko tree to let the branches down for their firewood. So that they say that we have climbed the Iroko tree. All the people, all the villagers who were inside the Ogbufi Egenovas house have been up the tree to put the branches to the ground for their hearth, for their firewood, which means they demanded the money. Here the Iroko tree would provide them. Iroko tree provides them enough firewood that the people need, and would be foolish not to take down all the firewood we need. And they said that after having climbed the Iroko tree, if they don't put down all the firewood that they need, they would be foolish. Which means today is their day. If they are not given any shillings onto their hand, they would be again foolish, as they were ever before in the previous election 5 years ago. In the similar way, already they have climbed up the Iroko tree to bring all the firewoods that they need, which means it is as similar as they are today asking for the money. And if they are not given the money by Marcus Ibe and Rufus Okeke, they would again be foolish. In the similar, it is as similar as they would again be foolish if they wouldn't take down the firewood that they need. And in the following paragraph, what we see is that Ruf had to agree. After listening to these words from the 5 elders in the house of Ogbufi Ezenma, Ruf had no alternatives at all. Instead, he had to agree with the words of those 5 elders. He had lately been taking down a lot of firewood himself. Firewood that symbolizes the shillings or benefits or advantages. Rufus Okeke, only a few days ago, he was the beneficiary from Marcus Ibe. As he had been with Marcus Ibe since 5 years, our Rufus Okeke had been given everything for him, which means here lot of firewood in the form of money, in the form of wealth. Our Rufus Okeke had been given everything, even the privileges, facilities, and everything was given to Rufus Okeke by Marcus Ibe. Only yesterday he had asked Marcus for one of his many rich robes. Only yesterday. What happened is that here we are given an example how Rufus Okeke has been given everything is that he had asked Marcus Ibe for one of his many rich robes. Robes in a sense that's what we call it is what we call gown. Robes in a sense gown. It is a symbolification of a richness. Wearing of robes in ceremonies is a way of richness. It is a symbol of a richness. Symbolification of a richness over here. Only yesterday, what happened is that Rufus Okeke asked Marcus Ibe for one of his many rich robes which he would worn in on many occasions as a symbolification of richness. After being asked, Marcus Ibe provided Rufus Okeke with the rich robes that he asked for, and he had got it. Rufus Okeke had got the rich robes of Marcus Ibe after asking it. Last Sunday, Marcus's wife, the teacher that nearly got him in trouble. And in the here is another incident given to us to understand what privileges were given to our Rufus Okeke is that only last Sunday Marcus Ibe's wife, she was the wife who got our Marcus Ibe in trouble when she was a teacher. When our Marcus Ibe was a teacher, who filed a complaint against her own husband when he was a school teacher. Last Sunday, Marcus's wife had objected when Roof pulled out his fifth bottle of beer from the refrigerator. Marcus Ibe's wife objected in a sense, refused. She utterly refused our Rufus Okeke when he put his hands into the refrigerator to take out his fifth bottle of beer out of it. When he wanted to take out a fifth bottle of beer, he plunged his hands into the refrigerator to take out his fifth bottle of beer. After having seen the actions of Rufus Okeke, Marcus Ibe's wife, she objected him like the woman she was. She was like that of a woman. She had that kind of a tendency in her. She was roundly and publicly rebuked by her husband. After scolding Rufus Okeke, she was roundly and publicly with everyone rebuked in a sense. She was insulted publicly by her husband. That was none other than Marcus Ibe. Marcus Ibe insulted his own wife for scolding Rufus Okeke as he put his hand inside the refrigerator to take out his fifth bottle of beer. To cap it all, in addition to that, what do you people mean by to cap it all is that in addition to that, Roof had won a land case recently. Recently, what happened is that Rufus Okeke had just won a land case which was in dispute. It was in a troubled situation. He recently had won it and he made it on his own. Now he won it after winning in the land case. Among other things, he had been chauffeur driven. How do you people pronounce this? Is that chauffeur driven to the disputed site? Our Rufus Okeke, among other things, he had been chauffeur driven, which means to the disputed site. As I told you people earlier, he had just won the disputed site legally. He had been chauffeur driven all along with his driver in a car. He had visited to his disputed site that he won recently all along with his driver. In a car, he visited the disputed site. This is how he was a beneficiary from Marcus Abbey, so that he came to know the problems of the elders, so that he understood the elders about the firewood. In a sense, as I told you people earlier, it represents the shillings, or we can say the money that all the elders wanted to get. He understood after having been given everything by Marcus Ibe. Rufus Okeke understood the elders, all these five elders, about the firewood that they asked for. This is what we see in this present paragraph. All right, he said it in English and then reverted to Igbo. And here, what do we see is that all right, he said it in English. And now, Rufus Okeke said all right in English. Now he admitted with the words of all those five elders, as all of them demanded for more shillings. They were not satisfied with what they were given, so that they wanted to get more. They were in the bribe. They stretched their hands for more before this Rufus Okeke. As they stretched their hand, Rufus Okeke understood the problems and problems of these five elders, and he further understood the demands of these five elders, so that he admitted or accepted with the petition of all those five elders. He said it in English, all right, I will give you people more. And then reverted to Igbo, which means reverted in a sense, he go back to the previous statement, previous people, as they were Igbo people. He go back to the Igbo people. He turned his whole body towards the people where they sat on the low stools. Let us not quarrel about small things. And he said that let us not quarrel about small things. These are all small things. You demanded me for more shillings. It's not a big matter. It is a small one. Let all of us not to quarrel each other for a silly things. There is no need at all to quarrel each other. Let's be quiet. I will give you enough shillings for each one of you. He stood up. After having said, he stood up from his sitting position from his stool. He stood up and adjusted his robes. As he stood up, as he got up from his sitting position to give more shillings to those five elders, he made suit of his robes that he had worn on him, which was given by Marcus Ibe when he asked it for only yesterday, and plunged his hand once more into the bag. After standing up from his sitting position, he plunged in a sense, put his hand once more time into his bag to take out more shillings out of the jute bag, to offer more shillings onto the hands of elders. Then he bent down like a priest, and later, after taking more shillings out of his bag, he had bent down his whole body like a priest, distributing the host. Distributing in a sense, he started distributing the money like the host in a sense, who organizes the party, who organizes something for someone else. That's what we call host. He started distributing the shillings or the money before all those five elders, and gave 1 shilling more to every man. He provided 1 more shilling to each man who sat in the house of Agbufi Ezenwa. He offered 1 more shilling, which was a third one. Earlier, he provided them 2 shillings. Now he added another one, that was a third shilling. He only he didn't put it into their palms, but on the floor in front of them. He didn't put it on their palms. He didn't put one more shilling on their palm. Palm in the sense, what we call it in Kannada is that ಅಂಗೈ ಅವರ ಅಂಗೈಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಡಿಡ್ is that he directly put another shilling on the floor before all of them. Directly, the men who had so far not deigned to touch the things, all those 5 elders, they hadn't touched the shillings who were on the floor. They were not ready to even to touch the money. Why? Because is that they hadn't agreed with the money they were offered, so that they hadn't touched the money they were given, looked at the floor and shook their heads. And after being given the third shillings by Rufus Okeke, looked at the floor. All the 5 elders started gazing or looking at the floor where they had seen the 3 shillings lying there, and shook their heads. What had they done is that they kept refusing to accept the money which was on the floor. They had shaken their heads as their disapproval. Roof again got up and gave each man another shilling. And later what we see is that Roof again got up from his sitting position and again offered each man with another shilling, which was the 4th one. And here what we see is that I am through, he said with a defiance that was no less effective for being transparency faked. And what do we see is that after having seen this statement, our Rufus Okeke got frustrated after having seen the disapproval of those 5 elders to accept the money that they were offered. Those 5 elders were not ready to even to touch the money. After having seen their tendency, Rufus Okeke, in a defiance voice, in a challenging mood, he got frustrated. He was in anger. He got frustrated. That's what we see over here. And so that he was raised with a frustration over the tendency of those 5 elders. The elders too knew how far to go without losing their decorum. All those 5 elders knew the fact that how far they should go, asking for more money without losing their decorum or dignity. Decorum in a sense, dignity. Without losing their dignity, how far they should go, asking for more shillings. They were aware of all these things. When Roof added, "Go, cast your vote for the enemy if you like." In a frustration, Rufus Okeke added like this before all those 5 elders, "You go and cast your paper. You go put your ballot paper for the enemy of us. If you wish to cast your vote, you can go put your vote for our enemy if you like." In a frustration, he said like this. They quickly calmed him down with a suitable speech from each of them. And knowing the consequences of what might happen in future, all of them were made themselves forward to quickly calm him down. They, with their suitable words, each one of them produced some words before our Rufus Okeke to calm him down. By that time, all of them made our Rufus Okeke calm him down. Now, all of them made him to keep quiet. He let every one of them let his anger down. By the time the last man had spoken, it was possible without great loss of dignity to pick up the things from the floor. By the time the last man, at this time when every one of them made every attempt to calm our Rufus Okeke down out of his temper, the last man who attempted to calm him down. He had spoken like this: "It was possible to all of us. It was possible. There was nothing to lose our decorum. We will not lose our dignity. We will not our respect without a great loss of dignity. We will not lose our dignity or respect to pick up the things from the floor. If we start picking up the things represent the money or the shillings that are on the floor. If we start picking up those things or shillings from this floor, we will not lose our dignity. That is what the last man advised all of them. The last man said like this: it was possible for all of us to pick up or take the money that was on the floor without without a great loss of dignity. We can pick up those shillings from the floor. This is what we see in this present paragraph. Students, let us stop over here. The rest part of this present story will be dealt in our very next class. I thank you all for listening to me all through the way. Thank you.